Hey guys, so today I want to talk about Shikoku pilgrimage. And I am not now in Shikoku anymore actually, but I want to share this video after I'm done with uploading the videos about me traveling in Shikoku. And so I want to place this as the last piece of my Shikoku adventure. So yeah, as this Shikoku pilgrimage is the theme that covers all the Shikoku four prefectures. So when I was exploring Shikoku, I had no idea about Shikoku pilgrimage when I started, and then I came to see people who were actually doing it. Then got really curious about what it is and then how it started, all those things. And then I didn't do Shikoku pilgrimage yet, and then but I might, I don't know, in some time in the future. And then this time I did a kind of like research about that, and then I'm sure that it's going to cover pretty much like basic, stuff about this pilgrimage. In addition to the things I got to myself experienced in Shikoku, also things that I learned from people who were doing it, the things that I heard from the people living in Shikoku. So yeah, I hope it's going to be helpful for you. And then also, so here is the contents, things that I'm going to talk about in this video. So, and then as I said, I'm not in Shikoku anymore, and actually I'm now in Hyogo Prefecture. But I want to shoot this video somewhere that's related to Shikoku pilgrimage. And then I found this place called Suma Temple, Sumadera, and then I'm gonna explain why this is, how this place is related to Shikoku pilgrimage. So yeah, let's start. So, what is Shikoku pilgrimage? And you might wonder what Shikoku means at first. So, Shikoku is the island located in the western part of Japan that consists of four prefectures: Kagawa, Tokushima, Kochi, and Ehime Prefecture. Then the Shikoku pilgrimage means the Buddhism pilgrimage that visits 88 temples located in Shikoku Island. And then the pilgrims known to be Henro-san visits those places by traveling over approximately 1,200 kilometers on foot or by transportation or by a car. The term Henro was coming from the historical name Shikoku Henchi, meaning remote land of Shikoku, as many monks from all over Japan were coming to visit Shikoku seeking enlightenment because Shikoku was believed to be an ideal place for Buddhism training. But during the Edo period, not only monks but also common people started coming to Shikoku for traveling for various reasons such as leisure, faith, and sightseeing, etc. Then the term Henro, derived from Henchi, now is widely recognized as referring to the Shikoku pilgrimage. Also, in Chinese characters, Henro is written like this. This Hen means thoroughly or completely without any exception. So in the Buddhism world, Henro means equally to all the things. So how did it started? So it is believed to have been established by Buddhist monk Kobo Daishi. We also call him Kukai, and he's the one who established Shingon Buddhism, and he trained himself throughout Shikoku. So this pilgrimage is to visit the places where he practiced and also the temples he established. So just a bit about the life of Kukai. So he studied Confucianism and Buddhism from early age, and later on he traveled to Tang Dynasty China, where he studied esoteric Buddhism, then brought it back to Japan. Then he established Mount Koya as his base, currently in Wakayama Prefecture. Later he founded many temples, spreading Shingon esoteric Buddhism. Esoteric Buddhism was brought by Kukai from China, and it centers on Mahavairokana Buddha, contains profound secret teaching and places importance on rituals and prayers. It originated in India at the 7th century and spread to China, Tibet, and Japan. So it is believed that Kukai entered eternal meditation called Nyujo in 835, but people still believe that he is still meditating in Mount Koya, giving salvation to many people. So this is one of the reasons why this Shikoku pilgrimage has been conducted more than 1,000 years. But you might wonder, why 88? It's believed that In the Buddhism world, humans are believed to have 88 earthly desires. So these desires are cravings and emotions that confuse human mind. So by doing this Shikoku pilgrimage, visiting 88 temples, you can reach the spiritual purification and remove all these desires. Additionally, the number 8, when it's turned sideways, it means the symbol for infinity. So it's said to represent the enlightenment and the eternity. Then 88, when turned sideways, you can also read it as infinity of infinity, so which can be interpreted as to symbolize the path of complete enlightenment. So the pilgrimage now has been accepted by many people. So why do people do it? So there are various reasons, such as religious faith as a Buddhist practice, or to seek blessings, memorial for the deceased, to pray peace for our family members or friends who have passed away, life transitions, career changes, or recovery from illnesses, and sorting out one's thoughts, and cultural attractions, having like a trekking experience to enjoy the nature and the culture of Shikoku. In recent years, there are many more people coming from abroad to experience this Shikoku pilgrimage, especially it's popular among Europeans. And the reason why is that because it offers a similar experience to the Spain's Camino Santiago pilgrimage route. Well, even if you haven't done the pilgrimage, you might have seen the people who are doing pilgrimage wearing white clothing. So there are specific clothing and items for doing pilgrimage. So the basic attire for pilgrimage are like these. Hakue, a white outer garment. Wagasa, a simplified stole worn around the neck. Sugegasa, a hat made of bamboo and sedge. Kongozue, a wooden staff that serves as an embodiment of Kobo Daishi. But in the past, pilgrimage actually wore all white attire because there was a possibility of dying during the pilgrimage, as it was a really harsh training. But today it has been simplified, so it is okay to wear white robe over your regular clothing. These can be purchased at the temple shop or online store, so if you are going to do the pilgrimage, you can check them in advance. Also, the items needed for the worship include the following. No Kyocho, a book that serves as proof of visiting the Shikoku pilgrimage temples. Osamafuda, name slips to place in the collection boxes at the main hall and the Daishi hall. Juzu, prayer beads to carry during the pilgrimage. Yamabukuro, bag for carrying worship items and other small items. Then if you are ready for clothing, you need to know how you are going to travel. There are 4 paths, each with its own significance, as pilgrims travel through 4 prefectures in Shikoku. First, awakening stage, Hosshin no Dojo in Tokushima, from Temple 1 to 23rd. Second, training dojo, Shugyo no Dojo in Kochi, from Temple 24 to 39. Third, enlightenment stage, Bodai no Dojo in Ehime Prefecture, from Temple 40 to 65. Lastly, Nirvana stage, Nehan no Dojo in Kagawa Prefecture, from Temple 16-6 to 88. Actually, after visiting the 80th temple, Okubochi, some people return to the first temple, Ryozanji. This is called Mangan, meaning completion. In the first temple, they offer white attire they wore during the pilgrimage, and they can receive the final stamp on their book, which proves that they have completed the journey. So if they complete the journey, it is believed that they are able to receive the merit of erasing all the sins from the past lives, as well as purifying the earthly 88 desires that they had. So there are, as I've said, 88 temples, so that's many temples. Then if you are going to do a pilgrimage, you have to decide how you're going to travel all those temples. So if you travel all the 88 temples at once, it's called Toshiuchi. But you don't have to do Toshiuchi. It's totally up to you, depending on your budget and schedule, whatever. And then if you are visiting the temples from clockwise, from the number 1 to 88, it's called Junuchi. If you're doing it in counterclockwise, it's called Gyakuuchi. Junuchi is the most common and popular one, as the routes are relatively simple. And on the other hand, Gyakuuchi, in that case, the routes are a little more tricky. Also, you can do the Shikoku pilgrimage by a certain amount of times, which is called Kugiriuchi, so you don't have to do it like by once. And lastly, you can do whatever the ways you want, called Midareuchi. It is to visit the temples without adhering to any particular order, simply visiting whichever that is accessible. Okay, finally I'm going to show you why I came to this temple, Suma Temple. So here you see a place where it's called Shikoku 88箇所 Osunafumi 霊場. So Osunafumi means the term meaning sand stepping. So as I've said, this pilgrimage started after the Kukai spread his teachings in Japan. So it has a history of 1,200 years. But during the time, there have been also many people who wished to do pilgrimage but couldn't do because of many reasons. For example, getting an illness, and also having like issues with the food, and of course like time and money limitations for many reasons. Then 400 years ago, people came up with a solution which is called Osunafumi, meaning sand stepping. So this temple here, you see the copies of principal deities of each temple of 88 temples, and then also see these sands that is brought from each temple. So these temples were built all over Japan so that people can visit nearby temples, so you can still get the same merit as if you've been to Shikoku to do the pilgrimage. So yeah, then here usually people stand on the sand, then recite the sutra, then stopping by each sand toward the copies of these principal deities. And then these are the names of the principal deities of each temple. So yeah, I got to know about this sand stepping culture when I was visiting Uojima. Then the owner of the guest house, Reo-san, told me about this kind of place. So I thought about visiting, sometime. So yeah, that's why I came to this temple. So here you see many, starting from 1 right there, it's going to 16, and then until 23, it's Awa. It's the end of the Tokushima prefecture. That's actually the one that I visited, Yakuoji. So then from here, Kochi starting to こうですね、薬師如来円光寺. Yeah, that's the 39. And then that's the one that I've been to, Kongo Fukuji, at Muroto area. Then from here, Ehime, started. Then going to, that's the one in Shiteji. That one I went to. Going to number 65. Then from here, starting from, 66 in Kagawa. There must be Zentsuji. Yeah, that's where I went to, Yakushi Nyorai. So, and then Zentsuji is the, city where Kukai is believed to have been born. Okay, then this is the Daikokuboji, the last one. Also, in Shikoku, there's an interesting culture called Ossetai. So this is like, giving away food or drinks to the pilgrims. So this is actually happened when I was exploring Shikoku. I was in at the time Ehime, Uchiko town. Then I was with the person who was doing a pilgrimage. Then I received like a drink of water by the people living there. It was, I guess, Miss Kimura. So yeah, usually Ossetai means like, host somebody in Japanese. And in business scenes, settai is like meaning like client dinner. So, but in Shikoku, it is to represent, to treat well by giving something to them, so that they are respecting the people who are doing the pilgrimage. Also, and even though I haven't done the pilgrimage, I'd like to share the etiquette of, when doing a pilgrimage. It's recommended to remember worship procedure, and the worship is conducted as follows. Bow and greeting first. Bow at the main gate or entrance with the feeling of I will now pay my respects. Purification at the water basin. Wash your hands and rinse your mouth to purify yourself. Finally, rinse the handle of the ladle with the remaining water. Bell ringing before worship. Slowly ring the bell at the bell tower. This is said to announce you visit to the Buddha. Offering name slips and sutras. At the main hall, place your name slips or sutra copies in the collection box and offer light and incense, reciting sutras. Place an offering coin, then put your hands together in prayer. While it's traditional to hold a prayer book and recite sutras, simply offering a sincere prayer with clasped hands is also acceptable. Receiving temple stamps. After completing all prayers, visit the temple office to receive calligraphy and the red stamps in your pilgrimage book. When you finish and exit through the temple gate, turn around and bow once. So you may be now more interested in Shikoku pilgrimage, but you may wonder how much it will cost. So this is like the rough breakdown of costs. So for the transportation, obviously walking is cheapest. If you use the car, it depends on the cost varies depending on if it's on your car or a rental car. For the accommodations, you can stay in places like guest house, inns, temple lodges, hotels, business hotels. Usually if you stay in a business hotel or hostel, the price would be around 4,000 yen or 5,000 yen. Or if you include the food, it could be more. And then also if you drive a car, you can stay inside the car and park it. That can reduce your cost. For food, the cost could vary depending on your preference, but usually it costs about 2,000 yen to 3,000 yen per day. But if you use supermarket or convenience, you can probably save up to 1,000 yen. Also, temple stamp fees. I used to hear that it used to be 300 yen for one stamp, but I think I've heard that it has now become 500 yen. So not really sure, but I think it's probably now some temples increase the price. So stamps for all the 80 temples, at least it's going to cost you about 3 man yen. Also the clothing and items, this is like the breakdown. It's going to cost you altogether about 1万円 to 15,000 yen. And other expenses, you are better off preparing the emergency fees. It's advisable to set aside about 数万円, such as taking taxi during bad weathers. So I want to share the last notes about the Shikoku pilgrimage. So this is something while researching, I thought it's very important. So all these 80 temples of the Shikoku pilgrimage has a long history, and it is believed that all of them have a very deep connection with the Kobo Daishi Kukai. Then the Kobo Daishi, he practiced asceticism in Shikoku, and then he contemplated his own way of life with emphasis of protection of nation and the welfare of the people. And he always thought that people should be happy and prosperous. So he tried to spread this message to as many people as possible through enduring many hardships. And then again, so the pilgrimage is an act of following the footsteps of Kukai Kobo Daishi. So then furthermore, the pilgrimage is also believed to be an act of inner transformation. So it is said that even with a deep contemplation, simply just by visiting temples, one's heart will naturally undergo transformation. So you are not required to read a difficult text or interpret complex sutras or undertake aesthetic practices. However, the act of pilgrimaging is, even if it's temporary, it's an act of detachment from the secular world into sacred territory. And there are various customs and rules. If you engrave the meaning and the intention behind your actions before embarking the journey, it will surely deepen your pilgrimage experience. Since ancient times, prayers has been considered essential in the pilgrimage. Each of the 88 temples in Shikoku has a dual nature, being both a pilgrimage temple and also local parish temple for the community. Also, the temples and the surrounding residents view pilgrims with strict eyes as practitioners. Because of this, facilities exclusively for the pilgrims are kept to a minimum. Although these facilities have improved considerably compared to the past, not all the temple sites are like tourist attractions. So let's maintain the proper travel etiquette during the pilgrimage, such as keeping toilets clean when using, not making loud horn or engine noises near residents in the early morning, and taking your own garbage with you. The people of Shikoku have called pilgrims as Henro-san with warm eye, respecting them because they have witnessed the people who have devoted practices in the relation to the Kobo Daishi. So please make your worship meaningful and purposeful as you progress through your pilgrimage. So that's about Shikoku pilgrimage. I hope that is interesting to you, and I hope you enjoyed it. So here is the last part I forgot to shoot in Suma Temple, and then so thank you very much for watching to this end. And when I was exploring Shikoku, I have actually interviewed 2 people who are actually doing the pilgrimage. One is from Spain, Adoria, and then also Pam from the state. As I was very curious about, really what drives them to do pilgrimage. Even though I understood that there are various reasons for doing it, but I think it's better to really hear the real voice of those who actually doing pilgrimage. I am going to upload this video in 1 or 2 days, so if you're interested, please check it out. Also, I'm really glad that I've explored Shikoku at the beginning of my adventure, because of the culture. Like I said, Ossetai, the people there were really nice, and then whenever I had a trouble, especially about the issues on my trike, I was always helped by the people living there. So maybe, I don't know, there may be some influence on, probably because of the Ossetai culture rooted there, like helping the people in need. So once again, I'm really thankful for those people who I met in Shikoku. So hopefully I will have that kind of good meetings in the places I'm going to visit in Japan, in my country. Okay, alright, thank you for watching. See you, bye bye. Please let me know how you thought about the video, and if you like it, please share it with your friends and families.